I'm just going to use it as a sub thing because Naomi and Ruth had a very special relationship, and she had to look at her life. So I'm just going to ask you, sisters, when your book is open, what type of reading are you? What type of reading are you? There are some gossip articles that some books. There's some mysteries. Amen. There's some straight up foolishness out there. Some of y'all done read Zane, and some of y'all done read Toni Morrison, and some of y'all done read Eric Dickey and all them other people out there. And that sometimes they can get downright with it. Amen. But see, the special thing about Ruth and Naomi's relationship was that Ruth had been watching her mother-in-law. Let me set the stage for you. Her mother-in-law, she says her mother-in-law Naomi, and some of y'all are sitting right here. Don't raise your hand because I know you don't like your mother-in-laws and all that other stuff. But this particular child have not come down where I'm coming. This particular person, she loved her mother-in-law. Her mother-in-law was a perfect example of what a woman should be. And picture in your mind, when you first see your mother, you first see her for the first time, Reverend Moore, you're like, hey man, that's my mom. Not just that's my mom, that's my mom. And the greatest thing about that is when somebody talks about your mama, things get real. We can be just like Trim, I'll tell your mama. You can be in the middle of church, you say my mama? Everything, time stops because you were saying my mama. Amen. Amen. I know I'm one of them. Amen. You say my mama, we gotta talk. You got my divided attention. But Ruth and Naomi had lived a life. She had two sons. These two sons, and I'm just going to give you the quick version. The two sons, they moved to Moab and all this other stuff. They ended up dying. Amen. These are still young women. They're not old widows. They're soldiers. They still have eggs. They still, they need soldiers that still march. Amen. They can still produce. So therefore, they're this place. There's a family and all this other stuff. So they decide. Naomi's like, I don't have no reason to stay here anymore. Well, I'm up. I love y'all. It's real. Yeah. Y'all go. Y'all be good daughter-in-laws. I love y'all. I'm going back home. First, the two daughters, the daughter-in-laws, Oprah and Ruth, they said, we're going with you. We don't know nothing else. We're going with you. We're just going to go with you. Finally, she talked into saying, you know what? I'll just go back to where I'm from. And then there's Ruth. Now, what got me about Ruth was, what was it about Naomi that she said, where you go, I'll go. Where you live, I'll live. Where you die, I'll die. And your God is my God. And then I just want to witness to brother God. I will always love you. That's the kind of thing that they were going back and forth because women normally don't have that type of connection. See, what happens is when there are certain women around, I act a certain way. See, when you jump bad at school, you're looking around to make sure your girls are with you. And then you got to have them set up just right. You know how it is. You walking down the hall, you got to make sure that your peoples are in the hall because you got to say the wrong thing. You got to be slick. You got to make sure somebody got your back. And then you got to make sure that the atmosphere is set properly for you to do what you got to do. Amen. So see now Naomi and Ruth knew that Naomi had something in her that she didn't quite have yet. Because see, when you glean and you hold on to somebody, that means that you really still need something from them. And when you have that particular attitude, there's some things in you that you need to get out of you, and that there's a source within this source that can take that stuff out of you to where you can just. And it doesn't matter how uncomfortable it makes you feel, because when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's just like she back on. You like, oh, silly girl. See, we get into that mentality because until we decide within ourselves that there needs to be a change made, there will be no change. But see, Ruth had been watching Naomi.
Yes.
She had been sitting. She saw how Naomi acted when her husband was alive. And her husband did certain things. She saw how she kept her mouth closed. Oops.
Amen.
When her husband said something, she didn't want to hear it. She saw how when it came to them, she loved them as her own daughters. She felt all of these things. See, when she opened up the book of Naomi, it was some good reading. She learned how to love. She learned determination. She learned commitment and dedication. She learned all of those things. She learned how to serve God in spite of it. See, what happens as women, see, all women are from Missouri. Every last one that is born, they're from Missouri. I don't care where they at. You can say Mississippi. You can say Arkansas. You from Missouri. You look at you a woman. You from Missouri. Because all women are from the show me state. All women, you got to show me who you are. You got to show me that you with me. You got to prove your love. You got to say what you got. Throw you off your square. If I'm not for you, I'll sit on the front row. Yeah, say it, Sister Wheatley. Amen. Yeah, I want you to say that trip at the same time. Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. Because as women, we're catty. We're competitive. If your name is called more times than my name is called, and you get the mic more times than I get the mic, then you think you all that. Not just the fact that God may use you differently. We cannot accept ourselves in the lanes that we're put. But when Naomi lived before Ruth, it did not matter to her whatever situation she was in. She showed Ruth that you can be a woman. Phenomenal. Sometimes women forget that you are a woman, and just because you're placed in a certain situation that you have to act like you're a man. No, I'm a woman and a lady all at all times. And I'm gonna stand flat with it. I'm gonna put that stuff there for Lord. Why? Because I'm a woman. Phenomenally. That's it. You got to understand that when Naomi was living before Ruth, Ruth was young. She was impressionable. I mean, everything that she did was prudent. She looked at her. She studied her. That facial expression. You know, my face, when something's not right, my face gets a certain way. You can tell. It's written all over my face. You don't have to say a word.
Okay. Yeah.
My jaws get tight. I try not to let my eyes squint. Because you know, you had a great grandmama that if you didn't look right, she just slapped you anyway. See, I come from that. We don't want to humble ourselves as women. We just don't want to humble ourselves. When I was coming up in the National Baptist Convention, the Women's Auxiliary, Dr. Mary Ross out of Michigan was an old lady. She was so old, she smelled like Ben Gay old. Everything about her smelled like mothballs. She rolled through there just, woo. But when the woman walked in the room, when she rolled in the room, she had so much power. Her presence demanded honor. Her presence, she never said a word. They would acknowledge, Dr. Mary Ross is being rolled in right now. We gotta stop and acknowledge it. And I never understood that. I was a teenager and I would hit my mama. Man, why we gotta stop? The lady can't hardly talk. Why we gotta listen? Just like a teenager would. One day, Muriel Ross heard me. And she said, girl, come over here and hold my bag. Hold your bag? your bag? Wait, what? You got about 15 people that want to roll you dick over there? Because as women, that's what we got to excuse. Let's move on. We're going to say something. Because this is another woman has approached us. So when a man says something, we like, oh, yeah, But if another woman approaches you, you know we get an instant attitude. So she was trying to teach me obedience, but I didn't know. That's what she was trying to teach me at the time. So she had me carrying her bag wherever she went. She told my mother, she would carry my bag. Yeah, they wanted to say, no, Mario Ross. They ain't saying my name on the bag carrier. Hey, I got the important stuff in here. Why you ain't saying my name? That's what I'm thinking. But I had to learn that she was trying to teach me how to shut my mouth and learn something.